Hello students, before we start our chapter, I would like to request you all to watch our introductory 2 videos given by me so that you will be clear about the 3-step strategy to do Dhamaka in physics exams. We have given the videos in the description box, or you can just click on our videos displayed at the end of this video for either introductory 2 videos or the next videos. Okay then, let's enjoy physics by Mr. Patel, who has a long, profound experience of 29 years of teaching physics in Sainik School.
9.7 on the same page. Double convex lenses are to be manufactured from a glass of refractive index 1.55 with both the faces of the same radius of curvature. What is the radius of curvature required if the focal length is to be 20 centimeter? Refractive index is given, focal length is given. We have to calculate the radius of curvature. Radius of curvature of both the faces is the same, that is R1 is equal to R and R2 is equal to minus R. You know that this for a double convex, this is R1, say, and for this say R2, correct? R1 is this side, this is R1. So, it is in the direction of light rays, so it is positive, plus, correct. R2 is on the left side, this is R2. So, R2 is negative against the direction of light rays, correct, because from lens to the left side are always negative. If it is a concave, so this is concave, this is convex, this is concave, this is a concave lens, then this is R1 is negative and this is R2 is positive. Remember, the general equation is, we know that 1 upon f is equal to n minus 1 into 1 upon R1 minus 1 upon R2. Now put the sign convention according to the question and get the required equation. So, this is general equation. 1 upon f is equal to n minus 1, 1 upon R1 minus 1 upon R2. Now, in the case of convex, this R2 is negative, R2 is negative, R1 is plus. So, R2 negative, negative, this will be minus. So, minus minus will be plus, correct, minus will be plus. So, 1 upon f is equal to, equation will become 1 upon f is equal to into bracket n minus 1 into bracket 1 upon r plus 1 upon r, because R1 is equal to R2 is equal to r given. So, 1 upon r plus 1 upon r, that is 2 upon r, and 1.5 refractive index is given 1.5, focal length is 20. So, 1 by 20 is equal to 0.55, 1.55 minus 1, that is 0.55 into, this is 2 by r, correct. So, r is equal to, take on this side this 20 into 55 into 2, that is equal to r. So, r is equal to 0.55 into 2 into 20, and that comes about 55 into 2, that is 110, correct, 110 into 2, that is 22, and put the points, you will get 22. This is 1.1 you will get, this is 1.1. That is equal to 220. That is the answer. Question 9.8 on page number 344, same page. A beam of light converges at a point P. The beam of light converges at a point P. suppose this is a beam of light converges at a point P. There is no lens here, these are the two rays. Now, a lens is placed in the path of convergent beam 12 centimeter from P. Now, lens is placed in the path of this ray, correct, at the distance 12 centimeter from the P. So, this will act as a virtual object. Correct? At what point does the beam converge if lens is a convex of focal length 20 centimeter? At what point the beam will converge? In the absence of the lens, it converges at P. Now, when lens is placed, it will converge. This is a converging lens. If lens is a convex, then it will converge to a lesser distance. It will bend. Correct. So, this is the V. The image I will be here. Correct. You can say V or I. This is image I, and this distance is V, image distance. Correct. At what distance it will converge if lens is concave? Let us see the first case. Lens is a convex. In the absence of the, if you have not placed the lens, then beam will focus at the, it converges at the P. Due to the converging lens, it will converge more, correct? So, it will form at a smaller, lesser distance, that is, it forms the image I at a distance V, that is less than the DC. So, now the formula for the convex lens or concave is a common one. This is a general formula, 1 upon V minus 1 upon U is equal to 1 upon F. Now, here image is on this side, so an object is also this side. So, this U is also positive. Remember, whether it is a lens or mirror, U is always negative, but for virtual image is on the left side. So, this distances are positive. Distance is measured in this direction, that is right side from the lens. They are in the direction of the incident light ray and hence considered as a positive. First, let us consider general equation for the lens, whether it is a concave or convex. 1 upon V minus 1 upon U is equal to 1 upon F. We want V. So, 1 upon V is equal to 1 upon F. Take this on the side, it will be plus. Simplify it. So, V is equal to F U upon F plus V, correct? That is equal to all, both are plus. So, need not require to put the any sign. Okay. So, 20, F is 20 centimeter, U is 12 upon 32, correct? This comes about 15 upon 2, that is 7.5 centimeter. The beam converges at a point 7.5. This distance is 7.5. V is equal to 7.5 centimeter. Now, if concave lens is placed, in the absence of the lens, it converges at P, but this is a diverging lens, remember. So, ray will, instead of more converging the case of convex, if it is a convex, it will converge at a shorter distance, but it is a diverging lens, so it will diverge the ray, correct? So, image will be at this point I, further away. So, U is 12 plus, V is also plus because on the right side. So, this distance is V. Let us calculate the V. This is V, correct? So, again use the same formula, general formula, 1 upon V minus 1 upon U is equal to 1 upon F. So 1 upon V is 1 upon F plus 1 upon U, same as you got here. Now consider the sign convention, because here both were plus, so we need not require to place the sign. Here both are, this is focal length is minus, distance U is plus, because it is a virtual object, it is not a real object, otherwise it is minus. And focal length of concave, whether it is a lens or mirror, concave is always negative. Remember, this is lens or mirror. If it is a concave mirror, this is F is negative. If it is convex, whether it is a lens, this is a lens and this is a mirror M, and say this is convex, this is concave, this is convex, this is also convex, this is L, this is M. So whether it is a lens or mirror, convex, then it is F is positive. Remember, correct? This should keep in mind. U is always negative, but for virtual image it is positive. U is always negative. But here is a case different, it is a virtual object, so U is positive. So V is equal to Fu, that is F minus 16 focal length, and U is plus because it is a virtual. The 12 upon minus 16 plus 12, that is minus 16 into multiplied by 12 divided by 4, that is 48 upon, this is minus, that will be a plus, 48 centimeters, correct. So V is also, here also plus, here also plus, both are on the right side. Next question, 9.9 on the same page. It runs like, it goes like this. An object of size 3 centimeter is placed 14 centimeter in front of the concave lens of focal length 21 centimeter. Describe the image produced by the lens, that is what happens if the object is moved further away from the lens. We have to find out the image and then describe nature of the image, whether it is virtual or real, bigger or smaller. It won't give you the concave lens, always give the smaller in size. In the case of the convex mirror, also always smaller in size. The concave lens, the height of the image is, size is given 3 centimeter, U is minus 14 centimeter. Remember, in earlier case it was virtual image, so right side, this is at the left side, so it is plus, correct. So here you have to place the lens. The object is here. This is 14 centimeter. So this is the light ray direction, and all distance are measured from the pole of or optical center of the lens to the object. So this is minus U, correct. This is positive direction. F is 21 centimeter. It has a focal length, this, what is the 21 centimeter. So F is minus for concave. So use the equation, same general equation, 1 upon V minus 1 upon U is 1 upon F. So 1 upon V is equal to 1 upon F plus 1 upon U as before. So V is equal to Fu upon F plus V. So you can here also introduce the sign value. Here 1 upon f, that is you can write 1 upon minus 21 plus 1 upon u, that is 1 upon minus 14, and you can simplify, correct? This is a mathematical statement you can use according to your convenient or easier way. So v is equal to f u upon f plus v. So v is equal to, now put the sign convention, both are minus, u is minus, f is minus, so minus 21 minus 14 upon minus 21 minus 14. So 21 multiplied by 14 upon minus 21 minus 14, that is minus 35. So that comes about 42 upon 5, that is 8.4 centimeter. For easy, you just multiply by 2. So here it will be 5 into 2, 10, and here it will be 84. So just put the decimal point, it's a simple thing. So a negative sign, negative indicates that the image is on the same side, correct? It's a concave lens, so it won't be this side, it is here, this side, correct? So image is virtual, erect, and forms at 8.5 centimeter. Now u is more, this is less, so image is diminished, smaller in size, about half, almost, not exactly half, is a slightly greater than half. Correct? So m is equal to h2 upon h1, that is equal to v upon u. So h2 is equal to h1 into v by u, that is 3 into minus 8.4 upon minus 14, that is 1.8 centimeter. So image is smaller in size. Now if an object is moved away from this, if you move this object away from this, correct, not beyond the 21 centimeter, that is f, this is f. F is 21 centimeter, not beyond f, correct? As object is moved away from the lens, the virtual image moves toward the focus. It will move toward it will grow bigger, correct? It will move toward the focus, but never beyond the focus, correct? So image is here 8.4, that is almost here, it's a very less distance. This is object 14 centimeter and this is 8.4 centimeter. So it will move towards this. If you move, correct, the object, if you move objects, correct, away from this, this image also will move, but not beyond the focus. At the most, if it is an infinity, even if you take this object at infinity, this object which is at 14 centimeter, infinity, at the most it will be at the f. What is the focal length of a convex lens of focal length 30 centimeter in contact with the concave lens of focal length 20 centimeter? Then what is the resultant focal length or focal length of combination of two lenses? Correct? One is a convex and another is concave. Convex has more focal length and concave has less. So combination will act as a lens which has a less focal length. That is, it will be, answer will be in minus. It will act as a concave lens. If you reverse this figure, suppose this is 20 and this is 30, then it will behave as a convex lens if you calculate. The formula is 1 upon f is equal to 1 upon f1 plus 1 upon f2. So f is equal to f1 f2 upon f1 plus f2. So f1 is 30 plus convex and this f2 is for concave, that is minus 20 upon 30 minus 20, that is 600 minus 600 upon 30 minus 20, that is 10, that is minus 60. So lens which has a less focal length, the combination will behave like that. So negative value indicates that the combination behaves like a diverging lens or concave lens, you can say. Now next question, 9.16. Others are deleted from the course, 11 to 14 are deleted. A small pin fixed on a tabletop is viewed from the above from the distance of 50 centimeter. By what distance would the pin appear to be raised if it is viewed from the same point through the 15 centimeter thick glass slab held parallel to the table? Refractive index of the glass is 1.5. Does the answer depend on the location of the slab? No, it only depends on the thickness of the slab. Whether you place at any point on the table, sir, it won't affect. Suppose this is tabletop. Say this is a tabletop and pin is placed on the tabletop. It is viewed, correct? A distance of now it is viewed after the glass slab is placed, which has a thickness 15 centimeter. This thickness is this is tabletop. And this is a glass slab. Of thickness, say it has a thickness T. Now, if you view through the microscope, due to the refraction, it will appear to be raised. Instead of this, it will be seen here. This is the real height. This is the virtual height. So, it is raised by this distance. So, you have to calculate the apparent height. Real height is of the thickness of the glass, that is 15 centimeter, and refractive index is 1.5. So, naturally it is a 3 by 2. If you divide, that is, it will be seen at a distance 10 centimeter. So, raised by the 5 centimeter, 15 minus 10, that it will be raised by 5 centimeter. Let us see by equation. So, d is equal to real thickness minus apparent thickness. Suppose d is the distance through which it is appeared to be raised. So, d is equal to real thickness minus apparent thickness upon apparent thickness is equal to real thickness upon mu. Refractive index of a glass. You know the refractive index of a glass is equal to real height upon apparent height, or real thickness upon apparent thickness. So, apparent thickness is equal to real thickness upon mu. So, d is equal to, suppose real thickness is T, then T minus T upon refractive index is n. We put the, instead of ng is simply n, right? With respect to air, the air has 1 refractive. That is equal to T common 1 minus 1 upon n. So, T is 15, 1 minus 1 upon n is 1.5. Correct? So, d is equal to 15 into bracket 1 minus 1, that is, sorry, n minus, this is n minus 1, n minus 1 upon n, this will be not n, this 15, you can say n minus 1 upon n, correct? So, simplify this n minus 1 upon n. So, n is 1.5, 1.5 minus 1 upon 1.5, that is equal to 15 multiplied by, this is 1.5 minus 1, that is 0.5 upon 15, that is correct. So, 5 3 ja 3 and 5, this will cut, correct. So, it will be 5 centimeter is the answer. So, d is a 5 centimeter, correct. Or another way is that you can calculate the apparent depth and then minus it from the real depth and get the answer. So, you know the mu is equal to that mu is 1.5, 1.5 is equal to real depth 15 upon apparent depth say h, correct. So or that is equal to, therefore this is 1.5, so h is equal to 15 upon 3 by 2, 1.5, that is 3 by 2. So that is equal to, h is equal to 15 into 2 by 3. So 5, this will come 10 centimeter. So this is the apparent height. This is the real height upon apparent height is equal to refractive index, which is given. I have not written due to the lack of space. You know, you can understand. So calculate the apparent height, say h. The real height is 15. So minus 15 minus 10. So real height 15 minus apparent height 10, that is equal to 5. So both the methods you can apply. Does the answer depends on the location of slab? No, it doesn't depend. Whether you place any side, it depends only on the thickness of the slab. Whether you place at any corner, it doesn't depend, correct. Whether you place, suppose there is a table top, whether you place it here or any other place, unless thickness changes. If you change the slab, then it will change. If thickness is more, then apparent the raise height appear to be raised, it will be more, correct. So it doesn't depend upon the place, whether you place here or here, it does not depend. 9.17, the figure shows the cross section of a light pipe, that is optical fiber pipe. It is also called the light pipe because light can pass through it, correct. It is made of a glass fiber of refractive index 1.68. Refractive index of this fiber is 1.68. It is coated by another material, that is, this has a refractive index N1, that is 1.44. Right? The outer covering of the pipe is made of the material of refractive index N1, that is 1.44. What is the range of the angle of incidence ray with the axis of the pipe? Correct? With the axis of the pipe for which the total internal reflection inside the pipe takes place, as shown in the figure. What should be this angle? So that this should be reflected. Instead of refraction, reflection will, total internal reflection can take place. So correct. So we have to use the Snell's law for sin I upon sin r. So we should calculate the r. What should be the r? So for r, we should know the I dash. This is 90 degrees. So 90 minus this will be equal to r. So I dash, this angle should be greater than the critical angle for this material. Ray is passing from the denser medium. This is N2 has a more refractive index 1.68. So it is optically denser with respect to the outer coating, having the refractive index N1 is equal to 1.44. This is a coating. Correct. So if this angle I dash is greater than the critical angle for the pair of media, then instead of refraction, reflection will take place. Not ordinary reflection, it is a total internal reflection, remember. So, totally light, most of the 90% light will be reflected. You know that when light falls, there are three phenomena takes place: absorption, transmission and reflection. Transmission, that is what? Refraction, and reflection and absorption. So that how much it will be refracted and how much will be reflected and how much will be absorbed, that depends upon the material. If it is a mirror, most of the light will be reflected, but it is not that there is no refraction and no absorption. So now N2 is 1.68, N1 is 1.44. Let us take this, we want IC. You know the N21 is 1 upon sin IC. So sin IC is equal to N12. N21 is equal to 1 upon N12, correct? So sin IC is equal to 1 upon N21 and that is equal to N12. So sin IC is equal to N1 upon N2, N12 that is N1 upon N2. This is refractive index of the second medium with respect to the first. For the first medium with respect to the second, then it will be 1 upon sin C, remember. So sin IC is equal to N1 is given 1.44 and N2 is 1.68, that is sin IC is equal to this one. So IC is equal to sin inverse 0.857, that is you can see in the mathematical table, in the sin table, that is sin IC is equal to 59, corresponding to this value of sin angle is 59 degree, correct. Now IC, this is 59 degree greater than, so this should be, this is 90, so this should be 90 minus 59, that is 31 degree. So correct. So total internal reflection will take place if I dash, this suppose critical angle is I dash, then is greater than IC or I, here we have put the I, you can put I also, I is greater than IC. So if I is greater than 59 degree, this I is greater than 59 degree, or when greater than R maximum, when R maximum is equal to 90 degree minus this 90, so this total will be R and the I will be 90. So this critical angle, correct, we should be greater than 59 and this will be greater than 31. So difference is 90 minus 59, that is 31. Now by Snell's law, the sin I maximum upon sin R maximum, sin I maximum upon sin R maximum, that is equal to 1.68. So sin I maximum is equal to, we know this now, 31. 1.68 into sin R maximum. Sin R maximum should be sin 31. So this is 1.68 into sin 31. Sin 31 has value 0.5150, that you can find also from the sin table. So sin I maximum is equal to 1.6 into 68 into 0.5150, that is 0.8662. So you can see from the again sin table corresponding value of angle, correct, reverse, that is I maximum is sin inverse 0.8662 and that is equal to 60 degree approximately, almost. Thus all incident rays which make the angle in the range of greater than the I is greater than the 0 and less than the 60. This will be greater than the 0 and less than 60. They all will be reflected internally with the, they will, with the axis of the pipe. This angle is made with the axis of the pipe, which makes greater than 0 and less than 60. They all will undergo the total internal reflection multiplied.